around. Once we get started, I'll explain the format of the public hearing today. But if you would, go ahead, if you would sign in. If you want to be an opposition or for, please make note that, and we won't get started until I get this passed around. I'll start right here. How you? I'm good. How are you, sir? Paradise. South Georgia and the South. That time of year. You know, one of the things, and I don't know if it was caused by the fire or what, gnats are worse this year than ours. They are bad.
Exactly.
But other than that, life is good. So all we got to worry about is the gnats.
Yeah, they were doing more. Manual more SQD. Well, SQD.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oops, sign Don't you see? Yes, it's right here. Find the ladies.
It's full. It's full.
Let's pass this one. This way.
You do it, sweetie.
Well, I got two, I got four. Great kid. Well, I got three.
She's a whole lot of fun. We'll fall back.
Yes, she is.
This week. I had to go to school anyway, so it's a chance to Jared Brown. All that one and six. Hopefully it's here rather than there. I guess we'll see.
Music turns on, she starts speaking.
I'm gonna take you up on that.
Someone live right in the community. This time makes sense.
That's your dog. That's your dog. She's sitting on the sofa that's not focused. have to mine. Number one, just add it to mine as the first one. That's nothing to
Yes, she never drove. Really? Never. And I didn't close for. Thanks for taking off me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and do a 60-foot trench right now.
I mean,
So is that. So is that.
but yeah, definitely. But you're trying to work on yourself. Like it burns. And it shouldn't work once it burns on. So they usually and the other, I should have known. They wiped out. They already done
Shut it down. Just shut it down.
So it's not long. You should know all the roads that have roads.
So what is that?
She's taking the river.
Might not come back.
Man, that's a working office. The sign, that's not to block that door. So if y'all would not block that door, please.
I think we need to get a larger area.
Start looking at the lower house maybe?
I'm skinny. Jim can do for
So is Ware County gonna have I seen in 1978, I graduated in 79. I was one of the big offensive linemen at 62205. And not off the high school.
Put that out there, Joanne.
So, but back then, I mean, literally, the biggest well I think that was I think he was just he might be 65, but he was he played defense. Almost like our two guards were 5'9", 5'10", 175. You know,
We're able to make this severely,
running crossbucks.
You know, it's really impressive. He was in the
yeah, I do, like, I'm sorry.
Still right.
Okay. Has everybody signed in? Has everybody signed in?
There are 2 seats open here. People need seats. No, I mean, nobody's sitting here if you guys want to sit.
Has everybody signed in yet?
I'm waiting.
Good Lord. Yes, I guess we're waiting for everyone to sign in before the meeting will actually start. So please bear with us. Thank you.
Oh, you did?
She's against it.
Put the John Hancock on there.
Carry on that day.
Is there anyone else that needs to sign in? Okay. Mr. Chairman.
Brantley County Commissioners over here in Brookfield. 24 County Commission office, call it this board.
Be glad to. Father, we thank you for this day and for who you are and for the grace and the mercy that you show us on a daily and regular basis. As we come before you today, we ask that you give our commissioners and our elected officials wisdom, grace, and mercy. We ask that you be here in our midst. And Lord, as we share and spend this time, we ask that they're able to make wise decisions as we go forth. We ask these things now in Christ's name. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Okay.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This afternoon, we have before you a motion or a request by the Brantley County Development Authority to rezone property that was purchased several years ago that is currently zoned agriculture to be rezoned for heavy industrial. This property probably should have been rezoned heavy industrial at that time, but unfortunately it was not. Also, just so everyone here will understand what's going on today, we have a clear guidance in our book of ordinances. If you would like a copy of any of this, it says what we have to provide in here. All of this is provided today as in the form of a handout, but this is our public hearing procedures for land use ordinance. It's in our Muni Code. It basically very clearly states how this will be ran and what my responsibilities and the chairman's responsibilities are. As far as today is concerned, this is basically land that was purchased approximately 4 years ago, 2022, somewhere right there, by the Development Authority. The purpose of that land at that time was for it to become heavy industrial and for them to be able to use this land to market that land on behalf of the county for possibly bringing industry or something like that. I want to be very clear today as we start this process. This has nothing to do with a data center. A data center cannot go on this land.
Why?
I'm talking, please don't interrupt.
It can go on other land.
So basically, on this particular land, specifically right now, because of them seeking some funding from the state and the One Georgia grant opportunity they have, and they will address that, it stipulates very clearly in that grant paperwork that it cannot be used for that purpose. And Mr. Baxter's here, and he'll state the other purposes that it cannot be used for. But it cannot be a data center on this particular land. So today, we are not going to listen to any discussion in this meeting concerning data centers. If you start discussing data centers, you will ask to be quiet. Also note,
Isn't that
in this meeting, I'm still talking, ma'am. No, sir, this deals with this particular issue and this particular only. This is not dealing with data centers. If we do, just so you all will understand, if the Board of Commissioners ever decides to move forward with anything on the other property that concerns data centers, they will have to have a meeting, and I'm sure they would move that meeting to the courthouse about data centers. This meeting does not have anything to do with data centers. It has to do with this particular land at this particular time for what they can use it for. And it has nothing to do with data centers. We are not going to have that discussion today. I will tell you we have 2 law enforcement officers here today. We will maintain order during this meeting. If you get out of order, you will be asked to be quiet. If you don't be quiet, you will be asked to leave, and if you don't leave, they will escort you out. This meeting should not last very long. It should be very specific. So just understand that, okay? It does not deal with data centers. It deals with basically rezoning property for the Development Authority for heavy industrial. That's it. That's what you can be opposed for. We have a list. Also note, the procedures state clearly in our procedures, the time that we have to allot is 10 minutes. So in this hearing, because of the number of people for and against, we are designating 10 minutes for each side. 10 minutes. 10 minutes for, they have 3 speakers. 10 minutes for against. If you want to speak against it, the total amount of time that will be allotted to the opposing side is 10 minutes. 10 minutes can speak for it, 10 minutes can speak against it. At the end of 10 minutes for each side, then the board will be given a few options. It clearly states in here what their options are. They can choose at that point in time to go ahead and approve it. They can choose to table it. If they choose to table it, no more comments are made at that point in time. It only is made comments in the future if they bring it back and they take it off the table. Or they can choose to defer it. If they choose to defer it today, basically they have to tell us when they're deferring it to. So the options are going to be for them to take action, to table it, or to defer it. That will be up to them at the end of this hearing. That's their choice. So, Mr. Chairman, at this time, we need you to ask for an acknowledgement of any potential conflict of interest by the members of the commission.
Anybody got any conflict of interest? No, sir.
Mr. Chairman, at this point in time, basically the next step is for us to make a recommendation. The Planning Commission and the staff recommend that we move forward in rezoning this property from that agriculture to heavy industrial. Okay? I've stated what the procedures are. You will get 10 minutes. The procedures also state that the people that are for it, in favor of the request, shall be heard first. That's in writing. That is not something that Joey created today or anybody else. It's in our process. So understand, we're going to follow the process. So with that, we'll start with the people that are for it, and Mr. Baxter, whoever you designate first, and when they get up, that will start your 10 minutes, and you get a total of 10 minutes.
Hey, I'm Gary Johns, I'm on the development authority. I looked at the code and I just had a little information that might be helpful to us today. The zoning of heavy industrial. The purpose of this district shall be to provide and protect areas for those industrial uses which cannot comply with the regulations of light industrial district. Development must be 500 feet from all residential districts, 200 feet from all agricultural districts. So you do have some pretty good setbacks that are in the code to start with. And special exceptions. There are special exceptions, things you can't do in the development, things you can't do in heavy industrial automatically. So one special exception is telecommunication towers. So if you're going to put a tower there, it's a special exception. It'll be handled differently. It'll have to go through a whole different process. You can't just do it because you're in heavy industrial. The other special exceptions are heavy manufacturing, the like which produce noise, odor, dust, flames, fire hazards, or other nuisance features shall be set back not less than 500 feet from any heavy industrial district boundary. The second one is for junkyards and auto graveyards. It requires for such to be at least 5 acres, to have some minimum setbacks, and for screening, that sort of thing. The other two that are special exceptions are solid waste, or inert, and solid waste, sanitary waste energy. Now inert, I would suppose that's just like things like concrete and building materials. But the industrial park that is already in place out there is right next to it. So this is just kind of like an extension to the industrial park that's already there. So it's a really good location for that. And it's against the railroad track, so it's got a lot of pluses for industrial uses if somebody needs a railroad spur or something like that. So it's a good location for what it is. There's not much going on around there right now. It's all pretty rural. It's zoned agricultural now, so we just need it to be rezoned heavy industrial. Thank you.
Please state your name and your address. I'm sorry.
Blake Bishop, 780 Robertson Road, Hortense, Georgia. Again, we're here today to get this parcel rezoned off Pembers property, or Pembers Road, I'm sorry. Big question may be, why now? Ultimately, should have done it when we bought it. I was not a part of the development authority at the time when we did buy it, but, ultimately, we didn't have the funding to do so. We've had to have multiple things, grants to apply for and what have you to get the property even ready to even go this route. And another point that we had was we didn't know which direction, when we had the property, we didn't know which route we were going, what kind of businesses do we want to attract to come into Brantley County. So now through the help of the grants and this rezoning, we're hoping to, you know, bring some new opportunities to Brantley County.
Mel Baxter, 246 Seabones Colony, St. Simons Island, Georgia. Thanks for allowing us to do this. Kind of back history on it. Land in question was purchased because our current property, our current industrial park is down to 11 acres. It's hard to market 11 acres to a company that wants to come in and do, you know, manufacturing, logistics, warehousing, or whatnot. To that end, I will tell you what we market, what we've gone out and we've looked at, talked with the region, and these are our target markets. Automobile suppliers, aerospace groups, defense groups, timber production and processing industries, logistics, warehousing, and distribution centers. Those are the businesses that we are targeting. The state has a list of these. They know that's what we're targeting. So when they have these type of businesses come in, will come in the state of Georgia, you know, we're on the list. The reason we're doing this today, and we should have done it, but again, as Brett said, there was a lot of work to do that property, and funding is just not something we are abundantly supplied with. But we have now procured a grant, a One Georgia grant from the Department of Community Affairs to allow us to get this property grad certified. Now, grad certified is Georgia ready for accelerated development. What that means is when the state project managers or the site selectors or a business look at what we say we've got, we have proof that we have it. Unfortunately, in the past, some groups may have said, well, we got 100 acres, and they get down here and they got 42 acres. Grad certification says, whatever we tell them we've got it. So they don't make a trip down here and find out we're not where we're supposed to be. To get grad certified, it costs a lot of money to do that. So we did apply for a One Georgia grant, and we were awarded it. Because of that grant, it states, for rural site development projects only, the recipient certifies that a data center, solar farm, nor a mini storage facility will not be located on the industrial park land, and that is for at least a minimum of 20 years before that can happen. And then after 20 years, we still have to get special sections. One of the things that we do, we've got a project right now, it's called Project Heather. These are the type of things that we want to put on that property. This is a group, they're an international group, they do powder coating on materials. They need 15 acres. They're going to put a 77,000 square foot building on it. It will create 160 jobs, 100 jobs in the first phase, 60 in the second phase. This is the special part. Utilities they need. This is why it fits us. No water in production, light wastewater, no natural gas, and 3 to 4 megawatts of power. You know, for us right now, that's a great fit. Now, are we trying to work toward getting more infrastructure out there, water, sewer? Yes, we are. And as soon as we get the grad certification next year, we'll be able to apply for another grant, which will allow us, I think, up to $2 million to start putting, you know, the water and sewer piece into it. Folks, this is something y'all, the county, wanted the Development Authority to do. They want us to create jobs. You want us to create money spent in this community, which at the end of the day builds our tax base up. That's the reason we purchased this property, and we give you thanks for listening to us.
Mel, can I ask something? If you go to come with water and sewer, would you tie into the Nahunta, or would you have to have a special exception to have something like that?
No, we wouldn't have to have a special exception. Now, right now, what we've been looking at is tying into the lines. That line actually stops at our property in the industrial, and then there's 42 acres of wetlands, property that will never be used.
In this heavy industrial, zoning would give you the right to apply for the grant to get the water.
Correct. Correct. And because we also were already awarded, that was one of the other steps in this. Since we were now awarded this grant for the grad certification piece, that allows us to go to the next step of applying for the larger grant.
Well, I know we've lost a couple businesses because of
Yeah.
waters. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How much time is left? Mr. Douglas, would you like to speak? You have 40 seconds.
I'll defer mine.
All right?
So that concludes the 10 minutes that we've allotted for the people that are for the rezoning. What we're going to do as far as the people that are against, there will be a total of 10 minutes. If the first speaker speaks 10 minutes, there will only be one speaker. We're not going to limit each speaker to any specific amount of time. We're giving each side 10 minutes. As you saw, each of them took approximately 3 minutes each for their side. So with that in mind,
Would we be allowed to maybe discuss amongst ourselves and have one designated speaker?
no ma'am, I'm gonna go down your list, the people that signed in.
So you had people that knew what they were talking about and had organization, and now we don't have the ability to organize our against.
I didn't have any control over what y'all did before y'all got here.
Because we knew that we had 10 minutes to speak.
We didn't know any of this.
Can we vote on our speaker? Shannon, do you
And
want
the
to?
thing is,
So-
you know, we didn't, at the Tuesday work session, we didn't even know it was on the agenda until the 3 days prior. How are we going to do our due diligence and our research when we have, 2 days are a weekend, and then a Monday to get the information of what this is all about? There's obviously a lot of confusion, a lot of frustration. When I asked in this planning, when the planning committee, or planning meeting, I asked if there was any interested parties looking into the property, and you had told me no. But then in the interview with the newspaper, we've got a couple of them interested.
So, just so you'll know though, Mr. Baxter, that's his responsibility. He does not report that to me. That's purely done by the development authority. Is that true?
That's correct.
So I don't, he doesn't keep me informed of who they're recruiting and what they're doing. He does not keep our board informed until it becomes a situation that they would have to make a decision. At that point in time, he would make me aware of that.
Well, with all due respect, I mean, when it came to the data center, we asked that question as well, and there was nothing.
So we're going to call this to order. We're going to call this to order. This is where we're at. The opposing side will get 10 minutes. Now let me explain that to you. If you do not want to speak, you can defer. The next person on the list will be called. We'll keep going down the line until basically we have 10 minutes of a speaker. The first person that is on the list is Miss Saunders right here. Would you like to speak?
Defer.
Okay, she's deferring. The next is Mr. Duncan. Would you like to speak? Yes, sir. The 10 minutes starts when you start.
So I just have a few questions. Incoming heavy industrial require increased utility infrastructures. Will this impact the utilities of the residents? And also, will hydrological and other impact studies be done before any businesses can put in an application? Or will that be done after?
So, Mr. Baxter, can you answer that question?
Yeah, I can. As far as power, no, there's no. We've got ORNC powers our park. We've got plenty of power for anything that goes in there right now. It will not affect anything, any other group. The other part of it was
Hydrological
studies,
yeah, and I should have explained it. With grad certification, there are things we have to do. We have to get the engineering done. We have to get the wetlands delineated. We have to have the endangered species done. We have to have the history of property on it. And there are about 4 or 5 other things. But yeah, all of that has to take place before we can get this certification.
Including noise pollution and others as well?
Well, they don't measure noise pollution on this. I mean, but that would be a county piece if, they can do their research and we put in a bell maker over there and they have to test their bells, but they would have to realize that. No.
Thank you for that.
Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Shannon Denbo.
I live at 1733 Jess Allen Road. I am opposed to this. Thanks. Next.
I'm sorry, I couldn't really clearly read your name. Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson? Okay,
Can I be paused while you're going through these names?
I'm sorry. Mr. Dykes? Okay. Did I get your name?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right. All right, ma'am?
I defer.
Okay.
I'll keep this short and sweet. Shannon Gregory, Satilla Riverkeeper, 5700 Okeechobee Swamp Park Road. And so my question comes into play as far as there's approximately 10 acres of federally protected wetland if you pull up the National Wetlands Inventory map on this piece of property. So obviously my concerns come into question as far as what goes on this piece of property and what assurances do we have that this piece of the wetland will be protected, because it does connect to adjacent wetlands on the adjacent property that is almost entirely wetland. So I want to know what type of protections we would have.
So, Mr. Baxter, can you address that?
Absolutely, and that's, again, that's part of what the grant certification is. We have to get our wetland delineation. Once it gets delineated, it tells us where these companies can build, where they can build. So, yeah, it's protected.
And so Shannon, just so you're aware, we don't determine that, but they would support them. And I can tell you that was delineated when we had another company they were looking at. So that's something that they're concerned with and would make sure that it's adhered to.
In actuality, it looks like we'll probably lose 30 acres of that 100 acres, so we'll have about 70 acres.
All right. Ms. Falk?
No.
Ms. Wendy?
Pass.
Ms. Tominette?
I'm not here.
Sorry, I can't read the next name very clearly.
Danielle, I defer.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Brown?
No. Yeah, it's very difficult to read. The next person, it would have been one of the folks in the back. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I guess not, no, defer.
Okay.
Defer.
All right.
How about you? You already said my name.
Okay.
Defer.
Mr. Douglas deferred on the floor. To the next gentleman.
I deferred if I'm on that.
Okay. Next gentleman. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Jane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, when they start, if y'all decide to do this, what is the value of the property that's gonna be around it? Is it gonna change? Is it gonna skyrocket?
Sir, I can tell you that at the current time, that's not, we're not able to determine that. The tax assessor's office would appraise that property and assess that property.
So you ain't got no guarantee that our taxes is gonna go sky high when they start rebuilding?
On that property that's right there, no, sir. What I would think, the residential property would not really have any change. That's what's right down past that. I don't see any anticipation of that property skyrocketing.
All right.
James Flanders, I own 821 College Circle in Waynesville. I'm against this rezoning because I've seen enough agricultural land get rezoned for the purpose of heavy industrial and then not be used or be used against the will of the community around it. Whether or not this intended purpose actually goes through or not, it sounds like the proposed or interested parties seem to fit under light industrial just fine and don't need heavy industrial space in our county to provide space for them to want to come here. If we end up rezoning this land, it is going to be against an overwhelming community saying that they don't want this, whether they have an explanation for why they don't want it or not. We're tired of seeing our land get rezoned for heavy industrial use, and we're tired of seeing this board in particular doing things that we ask them not to do. Y'all want to have a public hearing and dictate everything, the time, what we can talk about and everything, but y'all don't actually end up doing anything that we ask for y'all to do. I've proposed multiple things, and I would almost guarantee that even if I proposed a raise for you guys, that y'all would vote against me or not start the motion. And I will be testing that coming up, so I hope that you guys prove me wrong. because I do plan to run again, and, I might not have won this past time, but I will run again, and one of your seats will be filled with my name. You guys will have to look at me, and this will.
That's enough, it's not on topic there, Mr. Flanders, please stay on topic.
This topic about rezoning this land, is a no-go for our community. You guys have already done things against the trust of the community and asking for us to decide and be okay with another request from the development board or from anybody on an elected position or hired. You have no, expectation of approval based on recent actions, and regardless of what you guys go through with or not, we've all shown up, we've taken our time out of our days to show you we don't want you to rezone this land. And so if you guys agree to do it and vote against the will of the community, it will just be another check mark on the box for everything else that is against you guys' names. We prayed at the beginning of this that this board would make sound decisions, and I take that very seriously. Please, please, do not rezone this land. We have enough agricultural land disappearing in our community. Do not rezone it for the purpose of entities that can easily fit in other land that does not have to be rezoned or impacted, especially when we have sensitive wetlands. Thank you.
Would you like to say anything? How much time is remaining?
2 minutes.
2 minutes remaining. State your name and your address, please.
Marilyn Wendy, 1341 Southeast 41st Avenue. I live in Gainesville, Florida, but I've been working with the community here. It is clear that the community is against this rezoning. There's a complete lack of trust that the community has with the commission. Community does not trust that the commission will do what it says it's going to do. And they do not trust that rezoning this as heavy industrial will have a positive impact on the community at large. As JT said, there is a lot that you can do with the land as it is. You do not have the consensus. If you went down that list of people of who is for and against it, even though you split the time in half and said 10 minutes and 10 minutes, the vast majority of people here are against this rezoning. So I think you need to listen to the will of the people and actually reconsider what you're proposing. Thank you.
So we've gone through the list. Would either of you like to have anything to say? Ms. Dominic, since you're back, you have time remaining.
Yes. 45 seconds, man, I can't do anything in 45 seconds. Yeah, totally against it. Like Marilyn said, the trust is gone. We ask questions, take the closing of the road, 3 against, 2 for, and you closed it. The JT, there's other properties, the 5-year plan, copy and paste every year, same thing, nothing gets done, but I guarantee you guys are gonna change it to everything, heavy industrial, to everything. And there is the lack of concern, or it was so urgent to get it on the agenda in April, and now there's no sense of urgency, because you don't need a special exception if it's all heavy industrial.
Thank you for your comments, Ms. Dominic. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our period of comments. The board at this time has an option to do the following: to take action, to table, or defer. If you would like to defer, we need to set the date of when it would be deferred to. If you decide to table it, no further comments will be made. If you decide to take action, you have that option.
I'd like to refer to the other commissioners.
What date you want to set?
So the question is, if we defer, we need to set a date. Do you want to set?
How do you feel?
I feel that the development authority needs to request the rezone the property so they can move forward in getting the grant money.
That's true.
So that they can go ahead and at least try to bring something in here to create jobs for the county.
What's the date of our next meeting?
It's the first Tuesday in July. The last day of June is a Tuesday, so it would be the following Tuesday from that.
When would you be applying?
July 7th.
After a vote? When would you be applying after a vote?
For grant certification, we're in the process now. And again, I'm sorry, that's the other reason it had to happen now. In order to get grad certification, one of the things they require is the property be zoned for the marketing group, for the marketing of that property. That's why we're doing it now, since we missed when we did it in the beginning.
July meeting.
Is there any time for one more now?
Will the grant cover 100%, or will it have to be like a low interest loan to go with that balance?
I'm sorry.
Will the grant cover like 100% or? will
It does, actually what happened was, we had another project that came in and needed some of these things that you get for grants, they needed it in order to decide whether they wanted to come into our community or not. So we did several of those things, paid them out of pocket.
What are those things? I mean, like, what does it encompass?
Wetlands, again, wetlands, historic, blocks built on the property, endangered species, engineering work on it, wetlands delineation.
Like water, sewer, power?
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, when we get to that on the grant part, we have to say, no, we don't have water. No, we don't have sewer. But like this company we're working with right now, could do this with well and septic. Until we can get the funding to put the water sewer out for that property, that's the only choice we have.
We don't have any other land that light industrial would need to go, and where we're marketing those.
Because we
All
don't.
the land they own.
Only land we own.
Well-
And it's rail served, I mean, you know how many rail served properties there are in Georgia?
You can land on St. Simon's, do it there.
It's a small choo-choo train.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to rezone parcel number B048-108A.
Once again, y'all don't represent your constituents. This is fucking
From
crazy.
agriculture to heavy industrial.
Don't get arrested.
I'll bail you out.
And second? Any more discussion?
They're doing something that we don't want.
All in favor, say aye. Got a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Could you express what that vote just was and what the actual vote was for those who don't understand ayes and nays?
Yes, sir. So the motion was to go ahead and rezone the property to heavy industrial. That was the motion, the second, and the vote was unanimous, and so the property is now will be rezoned to heavy industrial.
You thought there was a tension here before, I promise your world will be flipped upside down.
Is the meeting adjourned?
Upside down.
For
Is the
everybody that
meeting
wants to show up
adjourned?
to the community meeting, at the end of this month, we all have recall petitions already printed out. All we need is 100 signatures. Anybody here that feels like their voice is not being heard, please sign up. Please sign up to be a sponsor.
I have the paperwork outside, y'all. We can
Paperwork.
go to Huddle.
Last Saturday of the month.
Following me.
Ain't no SQP.